breath. Let it out. Are you ready to be free? Yes. It's not just going to happen to you. You have to do something. And what I'm recommending we do is a treatment for freedom every day, at least once a day. Do you want to join me? Yes. Do you? Yes. Then take a deep breath and we'll do our treatment for freedom together aloud. I speak my word for myself, my center, and all its members and friends. I know love as the only reality. I am created out of love. Love is what I am. I know this love as absolute freedom in every area of my life, the life of my center, and all who call it home. I know our center's mortgages are paid in full, and I claim for all of us financial freedom with all debts paid and cleared. I release any sense of struggle or wrongdoing. I live in an abundant universe where there is more than enough for all. We experience freedom in every moment of our lives, the life of our We experience freedom in every moment by always having more than enough money, vibrant health, and loving relationships. We are who we have come here to be. With hearts open wide, we see the world through the eyes of love. We are blessed, we are rich, and we are free. And so it is. And we do it with our 5 points of power. I always pay attention. I always tell the truth and tell it quickly. I always ask for what I want when I want it. I always take total responsibility for my experience. I always keep my agreements. And so it is. Thank you. Tell the truth and tell it quickly. Brian Fifield, I saw your face out there and it just knocked me right off my treatment. I'm so glad to see you.
Large, baby.
So good morning, good morning, good morning. I know it's Valentine's Day, and I know that the cultural pressure is all about people in a one-to-one intimate relationships, unless you're in kindergarten, and then it's about a 1 to 35 relationship where you're giving out all of your Valentines, and it's all about this happily ever after thing where everyone is fulfilled and joyous. And I don't know about you, but I think that maybe what we need to focus on a little bit before we go jumping into that idealized image of relationship is how to be in a relationship. Because most people think that they're going to get love by being in a relationship. Did anybody ever think that in their life? Marriage number 1, marriage number 2. You know that they say that the statistics on being married is not great. Well, I want you to know that 95% of all third marriages work to the end. And that's because by then we have learned that it's not about the other person, that you're not going to get anything from the other person. When I was a young woman, I married my first husband because at the time he was wealthy. He didn't stay wealthy very long at all. Once I brought my consciousness into the mix, I did that. And so if we think we're going to get something from somebody else, if we think that we're going to have a white picket fence and a life where there's never any conflict and there's never any ups and downs and we just go merrily down our way, for me what happens is I get disappointed. And then because I'm usually triggered off with my not okay child, then as the disappointment hits, I get angry. And then, I don't know if you've ever done this. But then I get angry, and who do I get angry at? I get angry at the person I'm in relationship with because they didn't give me the ridiculous idea that I had of what was going to fulfill me and make me happy and heal me and open up the doors to heaven and all of that, and it didn't happen. And so instead of looking at myself, I look at them, and I blame them, and then I criticize them. And then because I'm a very powerful person, I just dig them into the ground, and then I get divorced. And that was a cycle with me for a while, until I started saying, Barbara, you are the common denominator in all of these relationships. You take a perfectly nice person, and you just trash them because you have some issues inside of yourself. And so, how to be in a relationship? The first thing that I learned about being in a relationship that was healthy instead of neurotic was that I was the relationship. Up until then, it was always, they are the relationship. Oh, they, the sun and the moon, rise and fall upon this person because they are the relationship. I want to have their child. I want to live their life, all of that. And that always got me into trouble. Because I think that I thought, even though I was certainly not feeling perfect, whole, and complete, like I learned when I got into Science of Mind, I thought that maybe I could come into the relationship as a part of a person and latch on to that other person, and we would make a whole life out of it. And what I learned is that through the law of attraction, I was attracting equally neurotic people. So I would come with half a person, and I would find a half a person, and instead of making a whole person, it turned into multiplication, and we got a quarter of a person. This is the way it works. The first thing that I had to learn was that I was the relationship. Love never fails because love cannot go anywhere. Love is the constant of it all. The only thing is love. There's only love. God is love. Everything is God. Everything is love. Love is all there is. So if you're not experiencing love in your relationship, it's because you're not being love. And then we blame the relationship. And we say, well, I can't leave because I'm in love. And I loved what Tina Turner had the guts to say, what's love got to do with it? Because what we think love is and what love is are usually miles apart. We think love is going to save us. We think love is going to fill us up. We think love is going to turn us into the person that we haven't managed to become on our own, but that magically something through someone else is going to do it for us, and that never works. But when we bring ourselves to that relationship and recognize that the relationship is all about us, then we can do something with it. And some of the things that we need to learn to do are different than things that we do when we're caught in this really neurotic pattern of, please heal me, please fill me, please fix me. You didn't do that, so I'm going to get mad at you and then I'm going to hurt you. That's a bad way to be in a relationship. So we have to learn new techniques. And I'm just going to go ahead and use this Valentine's Day to give you some basic do's and don'ts. I have to say it in such a way that it's internet friendly. Don't be mean. Be kind. Don't be a jerk. Be supportive. I tried all these things. Don't ridicule your partner. Find something good. If you can only find bad things in your partner, you're in the wrong relationship. And my guess is there was something wonderful that attracted you in the beginning, and that if you look for it, you will find it once again. One of the things that John and I do, and granted, we have spent decades, both in our marriage and out, working on how to be in relationship. We find things that we like about each other, and then we go ahead and we tell each other. Right out there in front of God and everybody, we just say, I really like the way that you're so happy to see me when you come home for a trip. I really like that. I love the way that you picked a pink tie because you saw what I was going to wear. I love that. I love the way you love me. I love the way I'm the most important thing to you. Now, that he's learned through another series of relationships that if he doesn't want to be that way, he's not going to get me. And he wants me. But the me that he would get would still have Barbara Waterhouse on it, but it wouldn't be nearly the loving, joy-filled, happy person. When he brings himself to our relationship, he gets himself as me back. And the world will tell you you're crazy, but look at them. It's never the other person, it's always us. And there are things that, you know, we do weddings here, and we've got this wonderful, beautiful, lofty wedding ceremony, and it does not have those old words, for better, for worse, for richer, for poorer, in sickness and in health, till death do we part, or however it goes. And sometimes I wish we had that, because I want to say, you're all happy and gaga now, but there are going to be some bumps in the road. There's going to be some worse to go with your better. And when that happens, don't freak out and don't leave, because you're only going to take yourself with that exit strategy. There's going to be some poorer that go with the richer. And when that happens, don't bail, because you're only going to take yourself with you and recreate that somewhere else. There's going to be some sickness that goes with the health. And when that happens, it is a statement of who you are, how you stand with the person that you are in relationship with. Now, I don't mean that you're going to be a doormat. This is not about dumb doormat, transactional analysis, lay down and let somebody walk all over you. That's a whole different relationship. But supposedly we have grown beyond total codependency, of letting someone completely rule us and take advantage of us and abuse us, because that comes from a place of feeling completely empty inside of us. Here we are in Science of Mind saying God is all there is, love is all there is, peace and joy are all that there is. I am created out of preciousness. All of that Spirit created, and still God created me. You know, the nebula and the oceans and the sun and the new life of springtime, was not enough. Spirit needed to show up as me. Spirit needed to show up as you, because it wasn't complete yet until you showed up. So here we come into this teaching, and we've got a sense that there's something amazing in us. There's something wonderful in us. And so I would trust that we've grown beyond the idea that says it's okay to have someone be abusive towards us, and that we're not going to lay down and just let the world run us over. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is being willing to stand with someone during the changes of life. John and I have been married 26 years. And believe me, there have been changes. There have been a lot of changes. And other people might have said, oh, that's just too much. You really should have left. Well, why? I'm only going to take myself with me. And if I take myself out of this marriage, I will not be able to get this person. I don't care what you do, where you go, how you look, what you choose to experience in life. I want you in my life. And in order to do that, I will take the ups and the downs, and I encourage you to look at life that way. You are not going to gain anything by blaming somebody outside of you. And sweetheart, you're not going to get anything by blaming me. It doesn't work. Not everybody would be happy being in relationship with me, so I've been told. I have my opinions. I expect to get my way. I want life on my terms. And not everybody's happy with that. But when you're not happy with a strong partner, then you don't get a strong partner. And so I would encourage you to think about what you bring to relationship. Doesn't matter whether you're on a one-on-one intimate relationship, whether it's the relationship with your dog or cat, whether it's the relationship with your toaster. I don't care. You are always in relationship. Remember, every mechanical piece of equipment in your life is a biofeedback machine. If it's not working, you did that. Yes, including computers. That's you. Everything is you. You bring yourself. What do you want to be in relationship? I don't want to say be nice, because that is just so, there's so many four-letter words. Nice, love. They're all four-letter words. Don't be nice. Be real. Be real. It's a four-letter word. It's a good one. Be real. Say what you're going to say. Say it quickly. Ask for what you want. Why do you think we have those points of power? So that we can practice being real. And don't be afraid. Don't be afraid of what life shows up as. You created that. You created that. And if you bring the best of you, you will find the best in your partner. But I tell you, if you start blaming and shaming and complaining and ridiculing and feeling like the only way for you to be safe is to trample somebody, then you'll find that you don't have anybody to be with, because you're just generally not a wonderful person, and people don't like people like that. To take responsibility, I had to look hard at myself with the 3 major relationships I had with John and see what I did. What did I do? I'm talking to the woman in the mirror. What did I do that caused me such trauma and drama? And why was it always them? And when I realized that perhaps I was coming from my unhealed inner child, and perhaps there was something within me that was clinging and trying to get someone else to do the work for me, someone else to make it better for me, and that was never going to happen, that the only way my life would be better was if I did it myself. And the way that I do it is by opening up to the love that is always there. Instead of trying to get it from someone else, I learned how to give it to someone, and in the giving it passed through me and lifted me up and healed things that therapists have been trying to work on with me for decades. We had made no progress on. When I started to look in the mirror and say, what do I bring to this mix? Who am I in this relationship? Not who do I want them to see me as, who am I trying to be, who am I pretending to be? And then they fall in love with the pretend Barbara, and that's not me anyway, and so I feel lonely and abandoned and disconnected, and then I blame them for not knowing that was a pretend Barbara. That's craziness. Craziness. And then the way to handle it is just to be quiet and expect them to read my mind for all of that. Don't do that. Be kind. Be supportive. Let that love that you are come into the relationship. Find something every day to be grateful for with your partner. They will be to you what you see them as being. Whatever you think about them, they will be. So if you think you're in a relationship with a dirty, rotten rack and fratchet, and that you're stuck there, that's what you will be. I was so floored with my first husband, who married someone else, and he was this wonderful person. How did that work? It was all about me. And so if we get anybody that we want because it's all us, then how do we see the people in our lives? And what are we willing to contribute to their well-being, because it's a contribution to ourselves? It's never the other guy. It's never the other person. It's always us. Our relationships, whether they're with our children, our parents, and they do not have to still be alive for them to be alive and well in our heads, whether it's with our friends, whether it's with our significant others, whether it's with the person checking us out at Publix, our relationships are all us. So, here's the deal. You have anybody in your life that annoys you? That's you. Yes, it is. Especially if you went, that's a true sign of it being a suppressed, disowned self. Is there anybody in your life that uplifts you? That's you. One thing that I love about John is that he is always in the perfect and right place. Forrest Toms could not go to the Peacemakers Symposium with Robert Brown. And so John got to work for the Crystal Cathedrals for a year, creating Peacemakers Symposia all around the country. What a great opportunity. He changed the lives of thousands of young people. I love that about you. And that's consciousness, to be in the right place at the right time so that Spirit opens up the doors and you get to live the life of your dreams. I love that. Find what you like in everybody, not just in the people that you think it's going to come back with. Well, I gave you a compliment and you better give me a compliment. No, 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 no. Low level. Outgive each other. How much can you lift your kids up? How much can you lift your friends up? How much can you lift the other people in this room up? How much can you give? Because the only thing that there is that infinite supply of Spirit as love. And it's your job to open up and let it come through, to set it in motion, to crank it out, to fill up your world. Wallace Waddles says, overfill your place. In every moment of your life, overfill your place. If you do that in your relationships, people will say, oh, well, it's so lucky for you. You have the best person in the world to be in relationship with. And you'll smile, and you'll say, yes, I do, because you will know that it's you. And so it is.